And this is a funny business also because it's the only money business I know where brand actually matters. Well, look around, there's 6,000 people who've turned up to the OurCrowd event, right? You've built a great brand here that attracts thousands and thousands of people to Jerusalem.
So this is a reunion of sorts. Michael and I are longtime friends, full disclosure, and we're partnered for almost a decade in the early days of this ecosystem, building a fund called Israel Seed. Can we show the slide of what we looked like in early days? There we are. So that's a John Medved without gray, a very young Michael Eisenberg, who's still pretty darn young, Neil Cohen and Alan Feld from Vintage. We were, yeah. I mean, when you look now at the ecosystem, and by the way, Michael runs perhaps one of the very best, maybe the very best venture funds in the country. You've seen, by the way, some other leading funds, people like Shlomo Dovrat spoke yesterday, but Michael's fund, Aleph, is an exceptional fund. And you've been here since the beginning, pretty much.
I got here after you.
I know, okay, well, I'm that old. How have things changed since those days?
When I first was welcomed by John and Neil into Israel Seed, very kindly, you think about the name of the firm, Israel Seed Partners. It a little bit tells the story that Saul was telling, which is Startup Nation. And we talked about small checks, and candidly, we didn't dream about really large outcomes. And I think that was commensurate with the way entrepreneurs were thinking about it. I'll build my company and I'll sell it to Cisco, which was the buyer of record at the time, or I'll sell it to Microsoft. And the biggest change is the ambitions of entrepreneurs. They're modeling after Gil Shwed of Checkpoint right now, and Avishai Avrahami at Wix, and the guys at SolarEdge, and they now believe that they can build these absolutely global, world-beating companies out of Israel. Mobileye,
right.
And it's inspiring, actually. You think back, oh my God, 20-something years. I don't think our ambitions were that large.
No, we got an exit for $50 million. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a lot of money.
You said, thank God for small funds.
Yes, but things have changed.
Absolutely.
And you've made your mark in this ecosystem, in particular by being the sort of standard bearer of building companies to scale. I actually think that you're the one who coined Startup Nation to Scale Up Nation, if I can.
Well, Saul coined Startup Nation.
Yes, but
I just borrowed it.
Going from the startup, obviously Saul.
Yeah.
Saul wrote the book. But when you look at some of the companies you've backed, like Wix, like Gigia, like a whole host of companies that we're backing now together, like Honeybook and Lemonade and some other big ones. What have they been doing differently other than the ambition?
So one is, I think, just through natural evolution, we've gotten a cadre of management that didn't exist 20 years ago. And we now have management who can scale these companies globally. Second thing is the world has gotten smaller. And so you can access markets anywhere in the world far more easily and faster. I think the third thing, which is important to point out, is when we first got started, we used to say, okay, we need to get the American, the Brit, who speaks the language of American sales and marketing to go do this, because all marketing and sales was face-to-face. You remember, so in the mid-90s, there was this great New Yorker cartoon with a dog sitting behind a computer that said, on the internet, nobody knows you're a dog. And the truth is that through internet marketing, nobody knows you have an accent or you're in a different country. And so online marketing and sales has changed everything. And you can now run these companies and get them to reasonable scale from here before you hire the first person out of the country. And we're actually really good as a country at online marketing and sales, like really good. It comes a little bit out of the old vice businesses, but that's for a different audience and a different time.
So have the Israeli venture funds matured along with the entrepreneurs? Do you think that we're doing, as an ecosystem, a better job of nurturing and adding value to companies? I know that, at Aleph, you spend a lot of time thinking about how to add value. Do you think as a whole the ecosystem is performing better that way?
Oh, I don't know. one of the fascinating things about the venture business is nobody discloses their returns, but
Except us sometimes.
God bless. You're the standards bearer. But, you know, I can't speak for anybody else. I think we're trying as a firm. We have this funny model. We're an equal partnership. We have no analysts, no associates. We only have partners who do deals on the notion that great entrepreneurs want to work with someone who can write a check and write it quickly. And we've kind of instrumented Aleph with a ton of software. We have 6 people in product and software at Aleph who do nothing but build tools for us and our portfolio companies. And so I think we're getting more helpful. And this is a funny business also because it's the only money business I know where brand actually matters. Well, look around. There's 6,000 people who've turned up to the OurCrowd event, right? You've built a great brand here that attracts thousands and thousands of people to Jerusalem. At least you got the weather better now. But
Thank God.
You know, it's a brand business, and I think if your name is recognized in Silicon Valley and New York more and more now, and you know, on some level in Asia, although I think it's less relevant in my business, that brand brings talent, that brand brings more money, that brand brings more scale to the business and more access to markets because it's a network business.
So you are also associated with perhaps one of the most interesting investments of our current times, where you were the really early investor in a company called WeWork.
It's true.
And took a leading position in terms of identifying and helping this very talented and charismatic leader. And we've read a lot about the company. What lessons should we take away from this process? I mean, I think it's safe to say that your investment turned out to be a very good investment for you guys. What does it mean for the ecosystem in general?
Oh, I don't know. I think we tend to blow things out of proportion that, you know, single companies of any kind have massive impacts on the ecosystem. I don't believe that. I don't think it was true of Facebook. I don't think it was true of WeWork. I don't think it was true of Twitter. The press likes these narratives around the ecosystem, and the kind of broad aim. I just don't buy that. But I think in general, we can talk about businesses right now in 2 ways. We're at a really fundamental point in the evolution of technology, where we've gone from building technology-only companies, things that only transmit bits, to things that disrupt atoms. And this is true in Lemonade and insurance, and it's true in WeWork in real estate, and it's true in, lots of different businesses. Every business is becoming a technology-disrupted business. But it's not the same as selling software. And the market is still adjusting to what these things are. It's not exactly a software business. It's not exactly a consumer business. It's not exactly a real estate business. It's not exactly an insurance business. And it's going to just take time, as it always does in every evolution, for the market to do this. I actually think we're in a period akin to the late 90s now, not in terms of the bubble, but we just don't know what these things are. They're so new to the market. Nobody dared get into financial services until now because it was regulated. It was the politicians, and it was the When Lemonade went to get an insurance license in New York, it's a true story. When I underwrote the Lemonade investment at Aleph in the first round, so I wrote internally that it was a coin flip whether we'd get a license. It was a coin flip. Nobody knew if this would work, and I think that's still true in a lot of ways.
So one of the things that I've always found quite lovable about you was that your sense of work-life balance is impeccable. Michael's the father to 8 children, by the way.
Don't clap for me, clap for my wife.
Clap
I
for
think
his wonderful wife,
right.
Yafa. But is really a committed family guy, and he manages, in the meantime, to write books. And you've got now 4 books out there, mostly about really interesting combinations of history, religion, economics. How do you manage, being a venture capitalist at your pace, Midas list worldwide? I mean, come on. How do you do this? 8 kids and writing books, and I know you don't sleep that much, but you still get some sleep. What do you do?
Not enough, but no television. I don't know.
No one's here from NBC or CBS, or they know it.
I don't know. I guess I don't believe in balance terribly much. It's all out of balance on some level. And the most important investment decision we all make in life is who we choose to share our life with. And so the most important decision I made 26 or 27 years ago was to get married to Yafa.
Yep.
And everything's and then the second best decision we made together was to move to Israel. And I think
Hear, hear.
this is a remarkable moment in time that we're all so fortunate to live through with the evolution of technology. I was taking over every part of life, and fortunate to be with so many smart people in this industry who are so impactful, and to have our families. Your father and grandfather, you know what it's like. It's the most important thing in the world, and that's what I can do. But John, before I let you get off the stage, Matthew, I brought something for you. I didn't know that he was going to put up that embarrassing pictures, but it was a perfect segue. So, first of all, since people don't know this, but when I was looking for a job early on in my career, the guy I sought out was John Medved, who told me to go get a real job. One of the best pieces of advice I ever got. And we were all younger back then, but like a good bottle of wine. This is from a winery that I started together with Ellie Wertman that he now runs. And it says, to John, with admiration and appreciation from Michael.
Wow.
And John has aged better than a good bottle of wine.
Thank you very much.
But wait. You all know, since you all came from all over the world for John and OurCrowd, that he's a leader in our industry. And not just a leader in our industry, he's a leader for our people, and brought so many people to Israel. Yehuda Glick was saying earlier that it's almost prophetic with a PH, hopefully with an FIT as well. So this is my most recent book called, in English, Everyone Can't Be Moses, Kol Echad Moshe Rabbeinu. I just want to read out the dedication to John. With much appreciation and admiration for all you have done for Israel, the Jewish people, the global venture community, and for giving young people like me a shot. Keep being a leader like Moses, Moshe Rabbeinu. Fondly, your partner, Michael. So thank you, John.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Eisenberg.